Photo ops are pretty standard fare for trade delegations, but there was more than belt buckles and books being exchanged.
It really does go on top of your belt.
In the next 5 years, our plan is to add another 300 kilometers of new subway lines to our metro network, so that the total length of our subway lines by that time will total over 600 kilometers.
And just a personal gift from me to you, sir.
Initially a skeptic of trade missions, Calgary Mayor Naheed Nenshi says the week-long Calgary Economic Development mission to China was worthwhile on a business and a personal level.
And for me, because, I love big cities, seeing Shanghai and Beijing and seeing how they're managing some of their issues around urban growth was also really very eye-opening for me.
To be very honest with you, we're under huge pressure from growing population.
We
have so much to learn from you. We are currently building an extension to our light rail line, 8 kilometers. And when I hear that you are building 600 kilometers, I think, wow, we need to move faster.
On the flight home, Nenshi was asked what he had learned on this trip that could be applied to Calgary.
The other thing I really was interested in Shanghai was that although it looks like it's just growing like crazy, they're trying to be thoughtful about urban design, making sure that there's parks and green spaces and places for, as they put it, people to live and enjoy their lives, as well as do commerce and have homes. These are important precepts, I think, for what we're doing in Calgary.
Well, as you know, I am a huge fan of public transit, and I love to take it all over the world, so I'm very excited about this incredibly modern subway in Beijing. A little crowded, but that means it's popular. And, this is, 5:45 on a Saturday. Imagine what this must be like during rush hour. But some neat things, electronic display ads right outside the window, beautiful signage, directional signage showing you exactly where you're going. This is good.
Transportation played a big part in this trade mission, walking through Tiananmen Square, taking a tram while seeing the sights along the Great Wall of China.
2, 3, yeah! Now some of you didn't say it, I noticed that.
It wouldn't be a delegation from Calgary if there wasn't the ever-present white cowboy hat, with Tourism Calgary's George Brookman leading the initiation.
Enjoy your lunch and come to Calgary.
But just as importantly for the mayor, this was an opportunity to check out mass transit in the world's biggest country.
So we're on the Shanghai Metro, which moves 1 million people a day. And what is interesting about this is the line we're on goes directly to the airport. But we're not going to take the line to the airport. They have redundant transit travel to the airport. The slow way is on the Metro. This line connects both airports. And the long way is on the world's fastest maglev train, which we'll be getting on very shortly.
It was interesting to see it from this perspective that public transit has to be a major part of the solution for urban transportation, even when you're making sure there's enough roads for cars. Beijing has 6 ring roads, but they also have this incredibly extensive public transit system. I think it's 300 kilometers now, and they're doubling it. So all of these investments go hand in hand.
In between the Shanghai subway ride,
You're not really filming me at the McDonald's.
and before he gets to the high-speed magnetic levitation bullet train,
I think we'll get the one with the funny bun.
I get a quirky insight into the mayor's odd road trip traditions.
I used to have a thing when I traveled, which is go to McDonald's in weird places and order something unique on the menu. So I'm ordering something unique. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it certainly was fantastic to take that maglev train, 430 kilometers an hour. But I think that investments in that sort of thing really have to be balanced against other investments that make a difference in people's quality of life, right? So if we choose to have high-speed rail in Alberta, let's just make sure that's money well spent that ought not to be, that can't be better spent on public transit within our cities.
390 kilometers an hour, incredibly smooth, apparently magnetically levitating, so we're not actually touching anything. About 400 kilometers an hour. expanding like crazy. So, like I say, we've got lots of growth challenges. Obviously, ours are on a very, very different scale, but it's helpful for us to see how other people manage them.
And Nenshi says there's a lot to be learned when visiting a country of 1.3 billion, even when you're coming from a city of 1 million. I'm Calgary Herald political editor Chris Varcoe in Shanghai, China.